Hey everybody, Pastor John here. Welcome to my kitchen over here at the homestead. And it's Wednesday night, and so we're going to be doing some things that are a little bit different. When you're sitting around and you got nothing to do, what do? You cook. That's what we do. So I'm going to make some homemade biscuits. And you're thinking, homemade biscuits? Yeah, I'm going to make some homemade biscuits. But then I'm going to apply some spiritual things to this. And I know you're thinking, spiritual lessons with making homemade biscuits? Yeah, so just give me some time and I'll show you where I'm going to go with it. But hey, if you want to learn how to make homemade biscuits and you're sitting around and you got nothing to do, then I'm going to teach you how to make homemade biscuits. So, first thing about making homemade biscuits, you got to have a good hot oven. Good hot oven. So, little oven over here, we're going to turn it on bake. And look, when I say hot, 450 degrees. So while that's preheating to 450 degrees, let me show you some of the ingredients that we got. Well, one thing about old timers, they didn't measure anything. It was always a dash of this or a dash of that. So, I can't tell you, get 2 cups of flour, 3 cups, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how much flour you put in there, you're looking for consistency. And that's what you need. So, I've got a bowl here, and this is my biscuit making bowl. And so what I do is, I just pour this flour right in here. So I'm going to fill that up because I know what that looks like. So if you can look at that, I'd say that's probably, I don't know if you can look in there, that's probably at least 2.5, maybe 3 cups of flour. And I might put just a little bit more in there, not too much more, but just a little bit in there. Now, another thing you got to do is you got to have a place to make biscuits. So that's why I've got this plate here. So what I do is, I pour me some flour out onto that plate like that right there. Okay? Then I take some olive oil, and I just throw some olive oil into that skillet like that right there. And I want to put that all down around in there. You know, you got to get your hands in when you're cooking. You got to get that greased up. All right, now, again, it's not about measuring. I can't tell you, again, you got to have 2 cups of this and 3 cups of that. It all goes back to consistency. So I'll show you what I want it to look like in the skillet. Again, I'm making that out because that's where I'm going to actually make my biscuits. Again, so I may have 3 cups of flour in there, something along those lines. Now look, here's my milk. Now, I'm going to pour that milk right in there. I'm just going to pour it in there, and I know, so there we go. All right, now, I've just poured milk in there, and I'm going to stir that. I mean, homemade biscuits are so easy, it's pathetic. Did you see this right here? And I'm just stirring that. I'm just stirring that. Now that's starting to thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit more milk in there. And I'll show you what I'm looking like for consistency. Okay? Now that's still, now you see that right there? Now that's a little hard. You see that? That is really pasty. You see that? That's what you want. That's what you want. So now, this is the consistency that I'm looking for. Okay, now what I do is, look here, live just got good. Now again, you got to get your hands in this. But now look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Now look at this. Now look at that. Now look at this right here. Now look at that. Somebody, come on now. Now look at here. Now life just got good out here at Roma Hills. Life just got real good out here. Now look, here's another biscuit. Now you see how easy this is? People would go and spend several dollars on Wop biscuits. Why? You can make biscuits. You got just a couple of ingredients here. Check this out. Now what you have to do when you get them in that skillet, get you another tablespoon. Now watch. If you don't do this, when your biscuits start to rise in the oven, they're going to be cracked. They're just going to blister and pop up, and they're going to have big craters all in the top of that bread. You don't want that. So watch this now. You take this grease, or I'll use olive oil now. Look at this now. Watch this. Watch this right here. You see that? You got that right there. Now look at that. Now all I'm doing is putting this on the top. And when these come out of the oven, okay, you're going to see why I do that. They're going to have the prettiest brown top on them that you've ever seen in your life. Now I'm just putting just a dab just to keep them from cracking on top. That's all I'm doing. You see that? I made biscuits homemade. Some of the best you'll put in your mouth in quicker time than it took for an oven to preheat to 450 degrees. So that is an amazing, amazing thing. Alright, so the oven's preheated and we got our biscuits in our cast iron skillet. So we're going to take our cast iron skillet, come right on over here, put them in the middle of the oven, shut the door, turn the timer on. Remember I told you, 20 minutes. Go. So hey everybody, I know you're wondering why in the world would Pastor John show me about making biscuits tonight. Well, here we are in the middle of this pandemic. And so I've been thinking of some things. I said, well, you know, some of the things that the Lord brought to my mind were there's a lot of people who are in dire straits and who are going to continue to be in dire straits. And so as I thought about it, I was thinking back in the scriptures in times past where people were taken advantage of. And I know that in this pandemic, there are going to be people who are going to be taken advantage of. And one of the things that has always stuck in my memory when I was in Bible college was the illustration that they gave how the Lord does not like for people to take advantage of other people. He's watching from heaven, and it really gets his back up when people are dishonest with one another and take advantage of people, especially those who are underprivileged. And so the illustration the Old Testament uses for this is the scale. And you heard me right, a scale. So what would happen in the Old Testament was people would go to the market, and when they would go to the market, they would be there and they'd try to buy a pound of flour. Somebody behind me? I saw you starting to laugh and I thought, what in the world?
Look at you.
Hey, I've been making biscuits. It's Piggly Wiggly time.
I smell it.
Well, listen, we're going to be eating in just a few minutes. We're down to about 14 minutes, so we're going to eat some homemade biscuits. So I'm doing a Bible study, and I was trying to tell the folks about, in the Old Testament, you know, they'd go to the market. And at the market, that what would happen, you know, you'd go down there, right, and you'd try to buy a pound of flour. And when you'd buy a pound of flour, you thought you were buying a pound of flour. What you did not know was the guy on the other side had manipulated the scales. He knew you were not buying a pound of flour. You were paying enough money for a pound of flour, but you weren't getting a pound of flour. And the Lord is watching from heaven on those things. He's like, don't take advantage of people like that. They're unsuspecting. They don't have a lot of money as it is. So when you are in a position to help someone and you have the upper hand financially, or you have the upper hand socially, or you have the upper hand, the Lord is watching from heaven. He does not appreciate when we take advantage of people. And so the scales were manipulated for a pound of flour. And I've always remembered that when it comes to looking out for folks who are less fortunate than myself. I'm not there to take advantage of those folks. I'm there to help them as a believer in Jesus. I am there to help them. And there are so many things when you look back in the scriptures that the Lord would implement to take care of people who are less fortunate. Like, for example, did you know back in the Old Testament, when someone would plant a field? The Lord gave strict instructions to the people who had the field. Said, listen, when you go through the field and you're taking all the vegetables out of the field, don't take every single thing in the field. Leave some things there for the alien. Leave some things there for people to come behind so that they can have something to eat too. So God was always looking out for the alien, always looking out for those who are less fortunate, always looking out for people who could not fend and take up for themselves. And so during this pandemic, the word needs to get out. Listen, the church is not going to stand for anybody taking advantage of people. No, we are here to help. And speaking of that, let me share this, because I know our time is running short. Let me share this. Congress just passed this $2 trillion aid package. A lot of you are going to, just about everybody that's watching is going to get money. There are people who are watching this. You have no need of that money. There are other people who are watching this. You're going to get that money. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go buy a new TV. Don't do that. Don't do that. The Bible says what are we going to do? Tear this barn down and build a bigger barn? So you already have a TV. Do you want a bigger TV? Or would that money would be better spent investing it into the lives of someone else? Kristen and I, we're going to be receiving money. Do we need every dime of that? Absolutely not. God has blessed us. So we're going to turn around and we're going to bless other people with that. There's other people who need that a lot more than I do. So I'm not telling you to give all of it away. You have to be practical and you have to be smart with your money, and I totally get that. But there are single moms who might need extra groceries. There are elderly who might need extra groceries or extra toiletries or whatever the case may be. I'm planning on being a blessing to people. Now, listen, the Bible talks about blessed people, and the Bible has very bad things to say about rich people. What's the difference between someone, who's blessed and who's rich? A rich person hoards what they've got and refuses to share with others. A blessed person is someone who's blessed to be a blessing. So Krista and I are going to be blessed with money's going to be coming. We're going to get a small windfall of cash. I need to be a blessing. I've been blessed. I need to be a blessing. So during this pandemic, think of the less fortunate. Do everything you can to help those who do not have as much as you've got. And I'm telling you, if you'll do that, God will bless you. Right, Kristen?
Right.
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 That's right. So, hey, look, I hope that was a blessing to you. It was in my spirit, and I thought, you know what? I got this flower thing going on, and I've got this whole idea about, not taking advantage of people. So I said, I'm going to make homemade biscuits. We're going to use flour. I know it sounds weird, but I said, you know what? I think it'd be a great idea. And we got about 9 minutes left before these biscuits get done. And we'll come right back on when the biscuits are done. And then I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be blessed through this just by seeing these biscuits, because I'm telling you, they're going to be awesome. All right, so hey, look, 20 minutes is up, and the biscuits have been in the oven for 20 minutes. And I got some stuff going on here because I decided last minute to make myself some grits. So I think I'll make some grits with my biscuits. Oh, there's the timer. So let me turn the timer off. Let me turn the oven off. And let me shut that down a little bit right there. Now here we go. Landon, come on in here, son. I want everybody to see what we got. Now looky here. Now let me pull this out. Son, are you kidding me? You mean you're going to go to the store and get Wop biscuits when you can have that? There is no way. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now look here. Boom. Now, look here. Now you talking about a pretty biscuit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Let me get a fork right here. Now look here. All you got to do, that thing is hot. You just stick that in there like that, right? Lay that open like that, all right? Now watch here. I like blackberry. It's my favorite. There's nothing wrong for you just do like this right here. Now watch this right here. Just watch this. You see what I'm talking about? Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm almost feeling the spirit here. Well, I'm telling you, son. Now look here. Now look here. Now watch this. Whew, that's hot. It's so hot you can't hardly touch it. It's so hot. Now listen, if you'll do that, life will be good. We're praying for you. Love you in the Lord. And hey, can't wait to see you on Sunday morning. Don't forget, Sunday morning now, heads of households, single moms, dads, be ready, because we're going to have communion on Sunday morning. I need you to have, your bread and your drink together, and so we'll have a good time on Sunday morning talking about communion. But until then, if you need me, call me, send me a text, send me an email, whatever it is. And we love you in the Lord here, and we can't wait to see you real soon. So you take care, and God bless you. All right, look at this. You want to buy this?
Yes.
Sorry, you can't have none.
What?
Mmm.